What's up guys, Eric from B-Side. Today we have here the brand new Subaru WRX from Spamsubie. We're super excited to install this Encore Alpha power amplifier on this car. Plug and play install, and this car already comes with a factory Harman Kardon system, but the audio can still be better. And you can achieve that with this amplifier here. Very easy installation. It mounts behind your radio. It's all plug and play. And if you ever change your car, you can remove it and install it to the new one. It's just that simple. So stop talking, let's get inside the car and get this installed. All right guys, so now that we're in the car, let's go ahead and get this installation started. So the first thing we want to do is we want to remove this side panel piece here, because all this piece is going to come out. So let's go ahead and use a panel removal tool. Pry this out like so. All right, so we're going to go ahead and remove this whole center piece, just being held by clips. Okay, so once this is out, there's going to be this plastic piece that's holding it in place. Go ahead and just move it a little bit to the left, get it out. Okay, and then next, let's go ahead and work around, and we're going to remove the side panel piece here and also the top piece as well. All right, just all being held by clips. Okay, and let's go ahead and remove these two Phillips screws here. And let's also remove these two Phillips screws up here as well. Let's go ahead and pull this panel out. All right, and then behind this trip reset, there's going to be a connector, and just push on the release tab and just pull it out. All right, get it out. Okay, and then when you're removing this trip release button, just note that this release clip is facing towards the inside right here. So go ahead and go in, push in here and pull out. All right, let's set this aside. Safe location. Once you remove all the dash, it'll expose these 4 10mm bolts. Let's remove it either using a power tool, or you can use a ratchet and a 10mm socket. And also note that these are very easy to cross thread. So when you're putting it back in, I recommend to hand tighten it before using a power tool if you're using a power tool, or use a ratchet, which gives you more control over the bolt when you're putting it back in. All right, and grab a thick towel like this. Go ahead and cover the area. Be very careful with the steering wheel area as well, because these brackets are really sharp. You don't want to damage any of the interior parts. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this out. Okay, and then as you can see here, there's a lot of room up here. So this is where we're going to actually mount the amplifier up here, okay? And the amplifier is going to be mounted with double-sided tape. All right, so it looks like this connector here is holding it from pulling out any further. So let's push down the release tab and pull out. All right, and let's also remove these two connectors as well. Okay, you can use one of these panel removal tools to push it out. Push on the release tab and just pull out on the connector. All right. Okay, let's also remove these connectors up here, the gray and also the green one, and also this brown one here as well. Okay. All right, sweet. So once we got all this out, this exposes the two connectors that we want to reach, which is these two. Because this car has the Harman Kardon, it doesn't need that extra harness that we use for the Subaru models without Harman Kardon. This one's going to be the standard ENA 2S1. And inside this package, you'll notice that we have our plug-and-play harness, which will connect perfectly to that connector behind the radio. Okay, so on this harness here, you'll notice on one side it's going to be these connectors. These are the one that connects back here. So let's connect it, and then we are going to ground the wire right here to the side bracket. All right, so let's go back here. Let's unplug these two. Just press down the release tab. You could wiggle it out left, right, left, right. Okay, that's the power. Some speaker wires on that too. Okay. There we go. So the female side on our harness connects to the male side of the original harness, and the male side of our harness connects to the radio. Alright, and let's ground this right here. We'll grab our Phillips screwdriver. Alright, there it is. And we're going to route this up here. So to do that, we are going to go behind the radio. If I could go all the way to the back. Okay, just gonna let this hang right here for now. And let's push the radio back in for now. And just make sure all these cables and connectors are organized. Alright, and before we push it all the way back in, let's reconnect everything we just removed. Make sure you don't forget to connect everything back, or else you will lose a function or two in your vehicle. Okay, so depending on which trim you have, you might have a box up here already from the factory. And if you don't have enough room here, you do have to mount the amplifier on the bottom of the radio. So back and to the bottom, and there's some space there as well. But for vehicles that have space up here, vehicle trims that have space out here, we'll go ahead and put it up here. Okay, next, let's grab our amplifier, okay? And we'll keep it at the default setting of 12 o'clock, which is 50% gain on front and rear. And we'll test the audio to see what the optimal setting is. And okay, here it is, green light, that's good. That means it's turning on. And just for now, I will just set it up here. After we get our desired setting, we will finish it off by double-siding tape it to the up here. All right, let me give it a moment to test the sound quality. Alright guys, so we just tested the sound just to see what the optimal level is for this vehicle. This is the WRX with Harman Kardon, and we found that putting the front gain to about 2 o'clock is optimal. Anything more than that, it's just going to be way too loud, and I just want to make sure that you guys don't lose your hearing from listening to very loud music. So I say 2 o'clock is very good. You could play around by yourself. If you want a little bit higher, go ahead and do so, but just so you know, it's going to be very, very loud. All right, so once we have this set, front at 2 o'clock and rear right at 12 o'clock default, let's apply some double-sided tape, mount it up there, and we'll reverse over everything we did, and that will conclude our installation. And go ahead and just use a double-sided tape here. Okay, so I apply the tape like this in an L-shaped form. All right. All right, so mounted over here. It is covering a little bit of this battery door, but if you ever need to get to it, it's easy to remove. It's just being held by double-sided tape. Just pull it off, it'll come off. But the point is, you want to make sure that you have full contact point under the amp to this to make sure it's securely mounted with the double-sided tape. And with this extra wires, you could just tuck it in. There's plenty of room. And after it's tucked in, we can reverse order everything we did, and that will complete the installation. But when you're reinstalling everything, just make sure to be very careful with these 10mm bolts. Hand tighten it initially, okay? And then you could use your power tool. Or if you have a ratchet, then same thing, just hand tighten a little bit in, and then use a ratchet. Okay, everything is in. Okay, and when you're pushing this connector back in, just remember that the lock tab is on the passenger, is facing the passenger side.
chat and chit. I come through like what's good, these wigs hit a split. Man better breeze and sprint, it's long for choose to fight down in these bricks. X's a Liverpool feels over the this, so make sure it's X that you wanna rally with. Oh, make a big man turn to the kid. Shout out Scope and I'll start top beats. Never seen X's with the eyes closed, got blue pass goes behind your eyelid. Bars and flows, check out the mission.
Alright guys, well that concludes our installation and demonstration video. As you can tell from the before and after, man, it makes a very big difference even on this Harman Kardon system. I mean, the Harman Kardon system sounds pretty good from the factory, but just by adding this, makes the sound much more livelier and dynamic, and you'll hear sounds that you haven't heard before. It's those little tiny details in these music that you can easily just ignore, but with this amplifier, everything comes to life, and it's pretty amazing, guys. And on top of that, this kit comes with a very low price of under $300. I mean, you guys cannot beat that. All right, guys, if you have any questions, leave a comment below, or you can email us at info@beatsonikusa.com. If you haven't yet, help our channel by liking and subscribing. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys on the next video.